Here with NSU head coach Mike McConathy. Coach, Demons head to ULM on Tuesday at 7 p.m. to take on the Warhawks. A little bit of a matchup change. Louisiana College was a smaller team here last week. ULM, a much bigger team, has 6'8", 6'10", a 7'1" guy across the board. How do you kind of adjust to that matchup style?
Well, I'm hopeful that we can be as effective against ULM Monroe as Louisiana College was against us because of the fact that they were so much smaller. ULM had played them and beat them handily earlier in the year, Louisiana College. But Coach Reshore does a really good job, a great game planner, a great coach. I mean, he's really beefed up his lineup with Coach Ryan Cross going out and getting some big guys. He asked for big guys, but they also have some guys that shoot the ball extremely well from perimeter. They're extremely talented because they're well coached at executing what they want to on offense, and that makes a big difference.
You've had 6 days between Louisiana College and ULM kind of to catch a second wind or to recalibrate. How have you been able to use this break this time?
Been one of the best schedules that I think we've ever had because we've been able to, we played a week ago, and then next week we play Tuesday, we don't play till next Tuesday. And I think it's allowing us to get ourselves to correct the things that we're not doing well. After the Tulane game, which we didn't play well, which they had a big win over Utah yesterday. They're a very, very good basketball team. We were able to come back and play Louisiana College, but then settle down, practice 2 days, tried to work on some things we needed to fix, and then took a day off on Friday and came back Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and we're been able to work on what we need to. And we'll do similar to the same thing after the ULM game. We'll take a day on Wednesday to practice, try to correct the things that we didn't do right. We'll be able to take off Thursday and Friday. This is the first time that I can never remember being able to do that. The one thing that's different, though, we've got about 9 or 10 guys that will not get to go home because there's not enough space in between. But we are thankful for that. So to get really to the crux of what your question is, it's allowed us to take the things we weren't doing well and try to work on improving. We were rebounding the ball well early. We didn't rebound it well the last couple of games. So we focused on that. We've focused on pushing the ball up the floor. We've had to make some adjustments by deleting some things in our offense and then adding 1 or 2 things that we think better suits our people. So many times when you're working on a team, you don't know what you have until you actually get in the games. And you can write a bunch of stuff down on paper. It looks great, it's wonderful, but until you get to the games, do you really know how it will work?
Turn the tables, ULM's going to have a 12-day off period before this game on Tuesday. Obviously, it allows them to do a lot of different things, but how as a coach do you kind of manage that time of a layoff?
12 days is a long time. He's such a good coach that I know that he maximized every one of those 12 days because he just does a phenomenal job and, like I said, a great game planner. There's 2 ways to look at it. Did you scrimmage during that time? I know that we scrimmaged some yesterday. Guys got a little bit winded, and we've only been off for 5 days. So do you lose that game edge? I don't think that they will because I think that he's such a seasoned coach that he's managed that and handled it the way he needs to. But still, it does pose a little bit of a different situation. Sometimes it happens on final break, to where you have long periods of time. Ours doesn't necessarily happen that way because we have, we do have almost 10 days in between when we play LSU and we do have 10 days in between LSU and Sam Houston. So but that's a normal thing at that time of the year. It's a little bit odd to have a break. Like we've had 2 different breaks and they've got a 12-day break. So in 14 days, we got 2 games. In 12 days, they had no games. So, it's just a different scenario for both of us.
Besides the Louisiana College game, this team has started well to games. Scored the first 7 points against Texas A&M, built leads against Rice and Centenary. How has this team been able to start pretty well at the beginning of the games?
I think our focus has been a lot better. We've talked about you got to be ready to play when you get off the bus. They're doing a better job with that. We just got to learn to sustain that. We've got to sustain it through playing within who we are. You
talked about, you put emphasis on the state of Louisiana. You're going to play an in-state opponent You got two Monroe guys, C.J. Jones and Larry Owens, that are going to play back in their hometowns. What types of progressions are they making, and playing a lot of in-state opponents this year? What importance does that have within the state?
Well, it's always important to have in-state players. I think CJ has been, he did not play in the Rice game. We didn't plan not to play him. It was one of those things to where when John we started off with, and Brian played so well that our rhythm that we got into, it just one of those things. He's responded extremely well to that. He's come in and really worked extremely hard. We had a good conversation about, what we felt like that he needed to do, and he's done a great job with that. And then Larry is a guy that's been getting extra work and will continue to get extra work. Going home is a big deal for them, I'm sure, and they want the opportunity to go and perform well against the University of Louisiana Monroe, because that's a place that they grew up, and CJ's dad actually played for University of Louisiana Monroe. But both those kids are very integral parts of our program, and we need them to be at the top of their game whenever their time is, and that they can really make a contribution to us.
Coach Mike, thank you very much.